Stress can often be a dangerous poison that seeps into our lives through daily tasks. It comes in the form of education, friendships, relationships, job opportunities, and so much more. Stress is an inescapable truth to our lives, and while it is necessary in some situations, it can lead to devastating outcomes. After all, as the saying goes, stress is a silent killer. So this brings us to ask, what is stress? Is stress the same for me as it is for you, and can any stress be good for you? Medically speaking, stress is defined as physical, emotional, or chemical processes that have a significant and negative impact, leading to strain or physical illnesses. Despite the overwhelming negative perception of stress, some stress is positive and even necessary for people to complete certain tasks. The only time stress becomes deadly is if it is ongoing chronic stress. Ongoing chronic stress can have negative effects on people because stress does not affect everyone the same. Long-term stress can affect one's behavior. It can cause changes in appetite, procrastinating, and increased use of alcohol or drugs. Everyone has dealt with stress to some extent in their lives, so everyone can relate to the emotional effects it has. When you are dealing with stress, you can become easily agitated, frustrated, and moody. You might feel like you've lost all control over your life or that you're fighting to maintain it. Stress can even cause depression, create antisocial habits, and some might think stress is just an emotion, that it is something that cannot physically harm you, but they are wrong. Stress can lead to small negative effects such as acne or headaches to more deadly ones such as a heart attack or a stroke. When you are more stressed, you are susceptible to illnesses because your body is focusing less on defending itself and more on whatever you're stressed about. In fact, 75 to 90% of all doctor office visits are for stress-related complaints. And to top it all off, stress can even affect you cognitively. It can cause you to make poor judgments, become forgetful, and create constant worrying. So, after all these negative and even deadly symptoms of stress, how can any of it be positive? Well, if stress is perceived as a situation that will lead to a better opportunity, it becomes positive stress. Positive stress can motivate you to complete tasks or achieve your goals. It can help you meet the reality of life and conquer it. In the end, it leads you to feelings of satisfaction and accomplishment, well-being, and wholeness. Once the positive stress is gone, it leaves you rather upbeat than dejected, but be warned. If positive stress becomes prolonged, it can turn into negative stress. Thankfully, there are ways to manage your stress, and because it is a worldwide problem, there are endless books, magazines, and websites dedicating to helping others manage their stress. The most common ways to manage stress is to do simple techniques such as counting backward from 10, focusing on your breathing, and in some situations, just removing yourself from a stressful environment will help. For more serious stress effects that have created mental instability or physical harm, seeing a medical professional is the best way to get a personalized system that works for you and your stress. Because stress is so diverse, and what works for me might not work for you, finding techniques to manage it is a trial and error situation. Although this can get very discouraging and even add on to your stress, the outcome is always worth it. If simple things like walks, meditation, reading a book, yoga, etc. are things that do not work for you, there are medications to help with stress. Although stress seems like a scary thing, it is something you've dealt with your entire life. When you start to think about stress and all the things it is caused by, and the things it can do to you, it can look larger than it is. Stress can only control you if you allow it to. While stress can have physical effects on people, it can also simply be overpowered by your mind. Some people turn to religion, some to a friend. Whatever your preference is, just remember, stress is not a big monster you're constantly fighting. It's simply a bump in the road to greatness. A famous quote by Dwayne Jar says, "No one can create negativity or stress within you. Only you can do that by virtue of how you process the world."